Hello there everybody and welcome to the Full Stack Development Guide for Beginners. First of all, what is full stack development? Full stack development is basically developing web applications on both sides. And by that I mean developing on the back end and on the front end by the same developer. So the back end is using different technologies that work on the server side to execute some very complex functions like working with databases and stuff and showing data to the front end. Front end using the usual HTML, CSS and JavaScript to show some interesting designs and UI to the user. So let's get started with our technologies. Yes, and by the way, this presentation you can find the link in the description below. Our first technology is ASP.NET Core. So what is ASP.NET Core? According to Microsoft description, ASP.NET Core is the open source version of ASP.NET, which means they are the same. It runs on Windows, Linux, macOS, and Docker. You can check the link in the presentation for more information about that. So my experience learning ASP.NET Core. I think ASP.NET Core is relatively easy to learn, and I think the documentation on Microsoft's part is very excellent. And if you want to learn a bit more, you can check Blazor site's series about ASP.NET Core. So obviously Blazor site will not sponsor a channel with 3 subs, and just because I wanted to share this because I used their resource when I learned ASP.NET Core on their free April event. So websites that were built using ASP.NET or ASP.NET Core. So if Stack Overflow isn't enough reason for you to start learning ASP.NET Core, I don't know what is. So, Stack Overflow was built using ASP.NET, Microsoft's website was built using ASP.NET, obviously because they created this technology, and Dell's website was created using ASP.NET as well. Our next technology is Blazor. So what is Blazor? It's a tool that allows the developers to run client-side, to create client-side applications using C# instead of JavaScript. So it's basically having all your server-side stuff done on the user's computer. You can check more information on the link in the presentation as well. So my experience learning Blazor. So I've just started learning Blazor, and I guess it's as easy as learning ASP.NET Core because they are nearly the same. And according to some friends that have learned Blazor, they said that it's a very interesting technology, and it's probably the next big thing. So I recommend you learn it. For more resources, you can check Blazor University, where they offer free written tutorials for Blazor, and I guess the tutorials are excellent. So websites built using Blazor. So for the time being, there aren't many, or there aren't at all that I could find, but hopefully Blazor will become the next big thing and you will see more and more websites using it. So Blazor, I guess, is perfect for websites that just they don't need like a big back end, if I can say that, and they just want they just use some basic functionalities with the databases like adding, deleting and updating. And they don't need that like huge backend. Yeah, I guess my explanation made that look very bad. So let's go to the next technology. Node.js. Well, Node.js has been famous, or is getting famous in the last few years. So what is it? Node.js is an open source cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment that executes JavaScript on the backend and on the server side. And if you want to ask what is it built with, it's built with C++, not JavaScript. So my experience learning Node.js. For me, it's a bit hard to learn it as I haven't learned JavaScript completely, maybe not at all, even though I'm a full stack developer, but who cares? But in the end, it may be different for you. So websites built using Node.js. So Yahoo is one of the biggest in this list, PayPal as well, and LinkedIn was built using Node.js. Our next technology, it's a very interesting one actually. It's Django. Well, what is Django? According to their website, where you can which you can find the link for in the presentation, or you just search for Django and it will show up as the first one. It's a high-level Python web framework that encourages rapid development and clean, pragmatic design. Pragmatic design. I guess I said that right. It's built by experienced developers. It takes care of much of the hassle of web development, so you can focus on writing your application without needing to reinvent the wheel. It's free and open source, and I guess the description makes it look good, and it is. Which leads us to my experience learning Django. When I remember Django, I remember it being so flexible, but so confusing sometimes. But learning it is not really hard at all. If you watch some Corey M. Schaffer tutorials on YouTube, and they are amazing, like, even though I'm more of a Flask guy, but Django is really good when you learn it from Corey M. Schaffer. Websites built using Django. There are like these huge websites, which are Spotify, Instagram, and Quora. All of these are built or using Django somewhere. Now you may be asking, wait a second, you haven't talked about the king of backend languages and full stack development. And I wanna say this, I haven't. PHP is our next language. It's really huge. Like PHP has been like the development standard for a very long time, and let's talk about it. Yeah, by the way, PHP needs no introduction at all. So let's go to my experience learning it. So PHP isn't really that hard to learn. It may take a bit of effort, but nonetheless, it's so rewarding in the end. I've tried to learn it for a while. I've done maybe some useless websites, but I think it's very good. So, built using PHP. 78% of the web, which means I don't have to say anything. WordPress is built using PHP. Like anything you can think of is probably built using PHP or was using PHP at some point. So in the end, I thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you find this useful. And I just wanted to ask you, what do you want to see next time? Do you want to see a tutorial about databases and which one to choose, non-SQL or SQL ones? Or a guide just like this about mobile development for beginners? Or me talking about some tech and why Ryzen 4th Gen are the perfect and why Ryzen 4th Gen are perfect for developers on a budget. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to support us, and see you on the next one.